Hello everyone. Today I'm going to take you through how I change strings on an acoustic guitar. Make sure to leave a comment below telling me what you do differently. Okay, let's get started changing the strings on an acoustic guitar. First, let's discuss the tools that will be good to have on hand and make changing strings much easier. I would highly recommend getting one of these peg winders. Now, primarily what this is for going on the tuning machine here so you can detune or tune it up. However, the one thing we're going to use that is the most crucial here is this notch. And what you do with that is it slips under the pegs over here and helps you lift them out without damaging the bridge. You don't really want to use needle nose pliers or something like that to pull those pegs out. So when it comes time and we take the string tension off, we're going to put that underneath each peg and lift it right out. So you'll see how that works. Great tool. However, today, Ernie Ball sent me the Ernie Ball Power Peg, so we may go full tool time today and use that over here to speed things up. Oh yeah. The other thing you'll have to have are wire cutters. When we take the tension off, I'm going to cut the strings and get those off. Plus, you always want to trim up the ends of the strings. You don't want to leave a bunch of spaghetti hanging down here. You're not an insane person. Also, when you get the strings off, you might want to use the opportunity to throw some polish on. I've got a little bit of polish and a polish cloth here. I'm not really going to do a cleaning today. The guitar is in pretty good shape, but it's a good opportunity to at least wipe it down. And sometimes you can clean up the neck as well. And then, of course, you're going to need your strings. And today we are using Ernie Ball Earthwoods 8020s. And also, you'll need a tuner for when you're tuning the guitar back up. So I've got one, a little bitty one over here, a Diodario, snapped onto the headstock. You could use an app on your phone or whatever works for you, but you'll definitely need a tuner to get things back in order. And you don't have to use one of these, but I got this off of Amazon, this mat, this rubber mat, and this rubber stand. And it's from, let's see here, Music Nomad. And it just holds things in place so you can work on it better. You can certainly put your guitar down on the carpet or something like that if you don't want to get it scratched up. But this keeps it nice and steady and enables us to work on it very easily. So let's get started. So what we're going to do first is you want to take the string tension off of your current set of strings. So let's go. This is going to be fast, I think. There we go. I've never used this before. But it is fast, is it not? This is great. Get on the right one here. Come on, baby. There we go. Well, that one snapped on me. That's all right. One thing you'll notice too, when that string snapped, that we'll take that as an opportunity to dispel the myth that the string is going to fly up and then go through your eyeball and come out the back of your head. Strings lose their tension so fast, they just pop like that and then they go. I've heard people say that they've been cut by the strings or it's injured them somehow. I've never seen it happen and I've broken a million strings. So let that be said for the record. Okay, now that we have the tension off, I'll go ahead and cut the strings. I just do this because I think it's quicker. You could leave them all on while you take the pegs out. Now we'll use our handy dandy peg winder here. You can get these on Amazon. I think they're about $4 to $5. You can also get them probably at Sweetwater and Musician's Friend and those lovely places. So I'm going to fit it under like that, and you just lift right out. Now, various acoustic guitars are going to be tight, perhaps, especially if it's been a long time since you've ever changed the strings. And that's what the peg looks like. So I'm going to do that to all 6 right quick. How often should you change your strings? Maybe as often as you change your shirt, every 3 months or so. Now that's if you're playing a lot. If you don't play a whole lot on a particular guitar, you could probably get by with 6 months or so easily. However, I will say this, it's just so much better to play on a fresh pair of strings, and it makes you want to play more. So I encourage people to change your strings at least every 3 to 6 months to make sure that you're keeping your love of the instrument going. I like to use the wire cutters and just grab the wire here and do that. That way I don't have to get my fingers closer than necessary and get the lovely tips going up underneath your fingernails. That's always nice. Okay, now I'm taking the opportunity to quickly wipe down the guitar, given that there are no strings on it, but like I said before, it's pretty clean. Not a whole lot I have to do here at the moment. Looks good. So, let's go ahead and get started putting the new strings on. They're sealed for freshness. However, I will say this, even in strings that are sealed, I wouldn't keep them over a year. I've noticed that some of my strings will develop a little bit of rust on them, even if they're sealed. After like a year to 2, that's just if you buy in bulk. So think about that when you're buying, 800 sets of strings at Costco or something. Okay, so we'll start with the first string, so the 10. Okay, and what you do is you want to take your peg and put that notch there facing where the string is going to be, because that's where the string is going to go up that channel. And so I put the ball tip down in there and just push it on in with that channel facing towards the string. And as you pull the string and you put tension on it, you want to keep checking, make sure that peg is staying down. Once the guitar is all tuned up, you're not going to have to worry about your pegs flying out and breaking windows and things. They're going to stay in there, but as you put tension on it, you want to make sure that you definitely keep pushing it. And here's one of the most important parts, going around the string post. What I like to do, everybody's got their take on this, but I always say you want to go from the inside out. And I do a couple of what I call pre-wraps. So I go around the post a couple times, especially with the thinner strings. I push it down, and then I will take the rest of the string and go through the hole above the wrap that I just put on there and pull it tight. The reason I do it that way is because as it spools up, it will push itself against that leftover string that I just pushed through. So I'll put a little bit of tension on here. What I'm doing, let's do this. I've never used this before. That is very cool. Oh, now look at there. Perfect example. What I was just saying. It flew out. I wasn't checking it. So, I'm actually glad that happened. Let's put the peg back in. Push it down. You got to keep tension on it. All right. Double checking it. Very nice. So it has tension on it now, and it's spooled up nicely. So I've got the tip here that I'm going to go ahead and cut off as close as I can to the post. So if your peg pops out like that while you're doing it, just put it back in, keep going. Not a problem, you haven't broken anything. Let me show you one more string and then I'll do all the others really quickly for you. So we'll do the second string. In this case, a 14. Put that channel facing forward on the ball tip there and push it in. Some guitars, they're never going to pop out like that because they're not going to be that loose as you're putting tension on it. Go down here. I'm going to go from the inside to the out, do a couple of wraps. Not the easiest on the thin strings, by the way, to do a couple of pre-wraps like that. Then go through. Very nice. Clip it off as close as I can. And there you have it. So let me put on the final 6 strings very quickly for you here, and then we'll talk about tuning it up. Okay, now all your strings are on there, and they should have wound up pretty nicely, pushing up against the leftover string that you put through the post, and that's going to keep it nice and snug. I should also mention too, on the lower wound strings here, you don't really have to go around a couple of times before you feed it through. Just one time's enough, and I did one time on these, and you can see there's plenty of string on there because you'll have enough slack that's going to be wound up as you go along. So I'll turn my tuner on the headstock here and start doing some pre-tuning. And what I mean by that is we're going to have to do some string stretching. So first let's just get it close. So I go through very quickly and get them close. I'm not being super accurate because I don't really care, because I want to stretch. Okay. It's not in great tune because as I'm tuning, not only is the neck moving a little bit, but the strings are stretching themselves. So what I like to do at this point is then bend each string. So you'll see some people grab the strings and pull on them, but what I just do is play. Bend the strings like you might do in while you're playing. So, and I bend them at various points. All right, and then with it upright like this, I'll go ahead and retune it again. You don't want to start fine-tuning with it down on its back, especially an electric guitar. They'll fall out of tune that way. You want to tune it the way that you're going to either be sitting or standing playing it. So here we go. I'm going to do this quickly because I know you really like watching people tune guitars on the internet. always let the note ring a little bit so that the tuner can register it. You don't want to do this. It's a bad way to tune. You want to hit it, let it ring. So. Sounds pretty good. Now it's going to go out of tune probably in the next 30 seconds here, and that's okay. You want to do a little bit more bending and stretching and put it back in tune, and you are good to go. But man, that sounds great now, and I hope that made sense to everybody. If you have any questions, please make sure to let me know, and I'll be happy to answer in the comments. If you enjoyed today's content, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you will. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell so you are aware of new videos that I do release. If you have any comments on what I did during this process, make sure to comment below. I'd love to read those and respond to you. I'll see you all next time.